Good day everyone, my name is David Jarka and today we have a special guest, my dear friend Khaled Sukon.
Hello David, hello everyone.
We knew each other from controlling team, he is a very good friend of me and a specialist of the Middle East region. He worked 1 year or 2 years in Iraq?
2 years in Iraq, 5 years in Jordan.
Yeah, so what do we need more? He is from Jordan and we will talk as the structure shows us. First we will have an introduction on the current situation on Middle East. I'm convinced this will be interesting for you because the Middle East topic is not broadly discussed in Poland and also not so much in the European Union, but we'll see. Then we'll try to talk a little bit about the refugees, because in Jordan you are also facing the same problem.
Yes.
Then we go to the European Union and if the Arabic states have an equivalent or not. Further, if we have time, we will talk about the democracy and split between state and religion. So for sure an interesting topic for discussion. Let's start with the European Union. We all know how the European Union looks like. We have 28 countries and this will be just our comparison for the Middle East region. We have about 512 million of population and per capita GDP of nearly 30,000 euros. Okay, Khaled, maybe you can tell us something about the Middle East region. If this is a good map or not, please tell something about it.
It's arguable that this is the map of the Middle East. It's not really defined. Sometimes you include Iran, sometimes you don't include Iran, sometimes you include Turkey, sometimes not Turkey.
Exactly, as we can see, Turkey is not
So-
here in this map.
Yeah, so it depends. Sometimes you consider some part of North Africa as part of the Middle East. And
Yeah.
some not.
So this is the difference between MENA and MIA, yeah?
Yeah, somehow, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So basically, this is what if we agree on this is the MENA region or the Middle East. We have two main languages here, which is the Farsi and Iran. They don't speak at all Arabic or some a little bit.
So this is they speak differently than these guys.
Yes.
Okay.
And basically in Iran, they have, it's the religion mainly Islam all over the MENA region. We have.
They don't have a split between religion and state. I think there is a ruler, a priest, something like that, or not, in Iran?
Yeah, I will come into this.
Okay.
But basically, yeah, mainly Muslims. We have Christians. We have some Jews, I guess, in Iran. And some in Syria, very minor, but still they exist.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
And your country, of course, Jordan, this is this piece.
Yeah, Jordan is just this piece. We're surrounded by conflicts everywhere.
Uh-huh.
So there is a conflict in Syria, conflict in Iraq, basically. We have the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And we have some ISIS people staying in here, which is in Egypt, in the desert of Egypt.
At this part, they
At
are the
this part.
ISIS people.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting.
Okay. On top of what they had in Syria, now it's a little bit disappearing. Some had in.
Yes, how is the
Iraq.
conflict in the Syria? Do you know how it's going on now?
Now the government, the regime is taking over again.
Yeah.
So they have.
So
almost-
Assad is now taking over nearly the whole country again.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Is he nice or?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends how you look at it.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
So of course, the country is more stable under the regime rather than being under the ISIS people.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
So the rebellions or how the rebels they were supporting ISIS, no? Mostly of them.
I mean, you cannot say this.
Okay.
About that. So rebels. I mean, nobody knows exactly what they are. Maybe, for sure, some people wanted to be liberated. They needed some democracy more.
Yeah.
But how it was utilized by the superpowers, this is the questionable.
Yeah. And when we talk about superpowers, I think everyone knows we talk about Russia and US.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly. So NATO is US is deciding. Okay, so surrounded by conflicts, another language, but these countries they have nearly the same language. How does the economic situation look like if you have some insights about it?
You know,
What is the most performing, best performing country, the worst one?
I mean, the super powerful one is Saudi Arabia. They have a lot of oil.
Yeah,
They
so we
produce
see the
their
biggest
yeah,
here.
and their economy is really huge. And on top, we have here the Gulf area.
Yeah.
There is a big crisis now going between Saudi Arabia and Yemen. So they have like some sort of war.
About whom?
Between Saudi Arabia and Yemen.
Okay, what are they fighting for?
It's a powerful. I mean, they're fighting for power. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
So United Arab Emirates. It's mainly you know Dubai. Everybody knows Dubai.
Yes.
Abu Dhabi. You know.
They also have huge oil reserves, no?
Yeah. But now they transformed the country from being oil dependent into more into tourism and trade dependent.
So more sustainable development.
Yes, on the way, I would say.
Okay.
Okay, it's not easy to transform a whole country from oil based
Yeah.
to a different based, let's say.
Okay. Yeah.
So and in Iraq, everybody knows there was a war.
Yes. And what year have you been to Iraq? What was the year?
I was basically in the north of Iraq, in here. So this is basically a Kurdistan region, which was a little bit more stable. It's more supported by the West, so they wanted to be stable. The rest of the country, their conflict is going on between everyone, I would say.
Oh.
Yeah.
So a civil war?
You can say it's now stabilized, but the country has suffered a lot. The people have suffered a lot, so there's still to do in Iraq.
Okay. So
to be a developed country or ongoing, like it's not yet developed. Yeah.
So when we just think about Iraq, I suppose most of us thinks a very poor state with war, kids suffering. Is it really like that, like in the newspapers, or is it a little bit stable now? I mean, or it depends on the region.
It depends. First, it depends on the region. It depends when you want to look at it. If you want to ignore the whole past, yes.
Okay.
Now it's much better. But the past was really bad. For everyone was bombing. Everyone had a bomb. I don't know where under the table.
Yeah. Wow. So was it really?
Yeah, it was really bad. But now it's much better, I would say, in terms of war and killing people. So.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Jordan, your country?
Jordan is a stable country, but they're suffering a lot from the refugees.
Yeah. How many refugees do you have?
Around 1.5 million refugees.
1.5 million. And imagine how much we had in Europe. It's not comparable at all.
Yeah, and the thing is, Jordan, we don't have any resources there.
Yeah.
So basically, Jordan is not an oil producer. We don't have oil.
So what is the more exactly?
We depend mostly on education. We educate people.
So human capital.
Yeah, we export people to the whole of the world, and they transfer some money.
Here we are about brain drain topics. Yeah.
This is the first part, and the second part is, I would say, tourism. So we depend on tourism. We have Petra. We have some nice places.
Yeah, and the river where Jesus was baptized.
Yeah, exactly. And the Dead Sea, and where Jesus was baptized in Jordan River. And on top, we have some sort of aids coming from partially the
United Nations. Okay.
And the United States.
Okay. Yeah. So we have. Okay. And of course, let's talk a little bit about Egypt. You will work there probably in future. Let's see.
Yeah, Egypt, I would say, is the biggest country, and they have 100 million, the 100 million population.
100 million.
100 million, yes.
So how much do we have in the whole Middle East? I found like 444 million, but can it be true?
I mean, it cannot be. It depends if you want to include Iran, Iran.
Okay.
If you want to include Turkey, if you want to exclude
Turkey. I think this was excluding Turkey, so.
So it really depends. Egypt, I mean, it's a huge country. It's a very historical one.
Yeah, it was one of the richest countries 2,500 years ago.
Yeah.
And now?
And now it's, I mean, Now
We
they
had
have-
the Muslim Brothers before fighting. Now the military is ruling there.
Yeah, now it's being rolled by an elected president.
Okay.
Previously, it was also elected by the Muslim Brotherhoods.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they did not perform well, so the people, just
They were not so happy, and yeah. Okay. And of course, we have a conflict in Israel, but this will be another topic. Let's continue maybe with the refugees. How
Yeah.
did the situation develop? Because in Europe, it is a huge topic for discussion. The European Union was nearly split between the Central and Eastern Europe, who didn't really want to have refugees, and the Western Europe, who wanted them. Now they agreed on something, that they will build some places where the refugees will come, and the refugees will not come to Europe, but they will be sent back to the countries. Is this topic also a very hot one in the Middle East region? How do you see it?
Yeah, of course, it's a very big problem. People are coming from Syria, from Iraq, from Yemen.
Okay, so these are not only Syrians.
No. From Yemen and from Libya.
Okay.
So-
What's going on in Yemen? The war, but I mean the conflict between Saudi Arabia and them.
Yeah.
Okay, so they want to go to Europe.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about Yemen if they want to go to Europe. Mostly it's coming from Syria.
Okay.
But Syrian, I mean, in the end, there are people, they are human beings, and they want to have to secure their lives.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And the only thing that we can do is just support them, or the international community should interfere more in Syria to stabilize and stop.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, a conflict or a refugee crisis can only be solved by taking out the roots, which is the conflict here. So we should either support this country to help them develop, not only taking refugees or not, but we should think how to solve the conflict between these countries. You have any ideas? Or, I mean, or is it something that will
it's a very
be ongoing?
It's a very sophisticated problem. We have the oil-rich countries,
Yeah.
which everyone is interested in their oil. We have which is basically the main reason for the war in Iraq.
So it's all about
It's all about money, I would say.
and natural resources.
And natural resources, yeah.
Okay. So I think the most important thing that we can learn from this lesson and this short interview is that we cannot put all the Middle East countries together. There are some richer ones, like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, I suppose,
Yeah.
and the ones that don't have such oil reserves. Jordan, I don't know how it looks like in Israel and Syria.
In Syria, they discovered lately a very huge reserve of oil.
So we can also think about the conflicts and the situation of the ruler.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's keep this for this part like that. I hope you enjoyed the video, and my special guest, thank you, Khaled, very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure people will be interested in seeing more videos. Thank you very much, and see you then.